Yo, what's good everybody, it's your boy Taco, and today we are back with another video, and today we are going to be ranking every single team's running back one. I'm sorry that I haven't posted in a while. Really, I was working on YouTube pretty much every day for a solid 2 or 3 weeks, and then I just stopped, and then wasn't thinking about it. But we are back, so this is probably going to be the last one in this series. I just think that I don't trust myself to really stay consistent, and there is 6 or 7 videos that I really want to get out before the season starts. So I just feel like I'm kind of cutting this out. But if I am dying for content, if I do end up becoming a good YouTuber for once, then I will probably start this back up with wide receiver 2s or tight ends. But for now, let's just get right into it, starting off with number 32, and that's Leonard Fournette. It's kind of surprising. Every team has a good running back. It's kind of surprising how some are this low. But Leonard Fournette, I could have maybe put in Rachaad White. Rachaad White might get more carries, but I just know that Leonard Fournette, I mean, everybody just kind of thinks of him as the lead back. He's all right at everything. I mean, he kind of went down in production last year. He's not the most efficient anymore, and he's just not that great at much anymore. He's lost the real power that he's had. He lost the real speed that he's had. He's just kind of old and washed somewhat. Number 31 is Cam Akers. Cam Akers, another guy. I'm surprised that he's this low. And, I mean, there's a lot of name recognition. He had the good rookie season, then had the torn ACL. But really, he did not do much last year. He had a very underwhelming first half of the year. And then the back half of the year, really the only guy, and still was probably underperforming to some expectations. So I just don't see him as that good. I think that ACL injury might have killed his career. Number 30 is Khalil Herbert. I don't really know how long the Bears have had Khalil Herbert. I think they got him in 2020. So he's already in year 4, but he doesn't have that much mileage. I think that there is a lot of upside with him. You're getting a guy without a lot of carries who you have seen flashes of him before when he does get on the field, and you don't really know what's going to happen with him. But for now, Khalil Herbert, he's unproven. They've lost David Montgomery, the Bears, so they're just going to have to see what they have in him. He would probably be good as part of a 1-2 punch, and maybe you have that with D'Onta Foreman, but I do kind of have Herbert taking over as the lead back. Herbert. Number 29 is Raheem Mostert, a guy who is kind of old and you would expect to fall off, but just doesn't. He gets the job done somewhat. Of course, he is down at 29, but he still is a pretty quality running back to some standards. He's able to do some stuff, man. He's fast. I mean, he's really fast. He doesn't really have that much power, but he's just able to somehow find a way to stay through and get you 50, 60 yards a game. He's all right. Number 28 is J.K. Dobbins, another guy who is pretty low, and a lot of people might not agree with me on this, but what has J.K. Dobbins really done? He had an all-right rookie season. He tore his ACL, and, there's nothing really that J.K. Dobbins has proven that he's done in the league. Yeah, he has upside, but what has he done significant? He ran for, 700 or 800 yards last year? That's all right, but you were the lead back. They didn't even use Gus Edwards, and your quarterback was Tyler Huntley or Anthony Brown for almost half the year. So you should be getting a lot of carries. I think that he did get a lot of carries. Number 27 is Damien Harris. He went to the Bills. He's not particularly a bad running back. Again, nobody here is really a bad running back. No team has a bad running back situation right now. If somebody told me, oh, would you have Leonard Fournette added to your backfield? I would say, okay. But he's last place. So, really, Damien Harris, he had a nice 2021 season. Kind of wasn't really anything in 2022. I do think that he's going to be nice in this Buffalo offense. I just don't think that he's going to put up that much production. And you do have James Cook back there, who might be getting the majority of the carries, but I think it's going to be Harris. They lost Devin Singletary. 26 is Rhamondre Stevenson, staying with New England, unlike Damien Harris. He was all right. Yeah, that's kind of just it with him, is he was all right. I've seen some people put him in the top 10. Some people are stupid. But, he just kind of does his job. He's pretty fast, where Damien Harris was more of a power back. But now, what is going to happen on these third and short situations? He's taken over as the lead back, and he's probably the worst guy here when it comes to being a straight-up lead back. Number 25 is Antonio Gibson. I have heard that he is getting an increased workload, but really, it's kind of the same thing as J.K. Dobbins. Like, he had a solid rookie season, but other than that, what has he done? And he kind of, he's been underused recently with Washington, but how is he going to get better, pretty much? Number 24 is David Montgomery. You saw him early on in his career. I think 2019 or 2020, he was top 5 in the league in rushing, and nobody really noticed. But not only has he had pretty much a lack of usage over his time in Chicago, he's not been particularly great. He still is an all-right running back. There is a reason why he's not in the bottom, but I just don't really see any of these guys that I could put him over. Number 23, a guy who really, if he played the full season, might have been top 15. We have Breece Hall. Breece Hall had some great flashes, some very long runs, just some very great plays. But really, the injury, I feel like it might kill him for this year. You have an injury really young into your career. It's taken off probably a year or two. You're getting where running back is such a position where I bet all these guys were not the starting running back on their team 5 years ago, except like Derrick Henry, because he's Derrick Henry. But, you don't really have anything to really go off of, and what you do have to go off of, it might have been shot down by this injury. Number 22, it's kind of the same scenario. I have Javonte Williams. Great player, great runner. His rookie year, great year. Year 2, expected to take a big leap. You kind of saw a big leap, and then he tore his ACL. There's so many freaking ACL injuries. Did he tear his ACL? I think he did. I know Breece Hall, forget about it. He had a very big injury, and he missed a lot of time. The Broncos' running back core sucked. Their run game was arguably worse than their pass game in that dreadfully awful offense. So, I really don't have much to say on Javonte Williams. You don't really know what's going to go on with him. But, let's hope for a positive year. Number 21 is Isiah Pacheco. Some people might say, oh, he's higher. You won a Super Bowl. A lot of people, because they're not casuals, would say he's probably lower. I was surprised. I wasn't really surprised to have him this high because, it's my ranking. And also, he did just win the Super Bowl. But, he's evasive. He was able to break off long runs. He was able to get good yards. He's kind of good at everything. He's maybe not a power guy. But he's good. He's good. And I think that he's going to get more of a lead role. And I think that he's going to produce in more of a lead role. Number 20 is Travis Etienne, the Jags running back. Missed his rookie year with a torn ACL, came back year 2. He had a torn ACL too. There's got to be... We're 12 people in the video. I've talked about 8 torn ACLs so far, probably. But Ettiene, he's had, like... He's shown flashes in year 2. I think that he could take a step up in year 3. I don't know if it's really going to happen, especially because it's going to be a very pass-oriented offense with Trevor Lawrence. And then you have Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, and that's kind of it. Number 19 is DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is somebody who, while has not had a torn ACL, has had an injury-plagued career. I think that you could see him up in the top 10 if he has a healthy, well-rounded season, which I think that he's going to have the well-rounded season. I just don't know if he's going to stay healthy. He's a great receiver out the backfield. He's nice and elusive. Apparently, my next-door neighbor knows him, and that, like, I've played football or basketball with him before, but I'm not buying it because it's been 2 years and he hasn't freaking shown up yet. So... yeah, but they are like, he's gonna be good if he stays healthy. Number 18 is James Conner, solid running back for the Cardinals. I mean, really, it's the only solid thing that the Cardinals have now that they have released DeAndre Hopkins. He's able to get in the end zone a lot, surprisingly, but he's an all-right receiver. He's an all-right runner. He's just kind of all-right at everything. But it all comes together to form a solid piece in otherwise not very solid offense. 17 is Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce had a great rookie year last year on one of the worst offensive lines. Jeez, I don't have a window open. I don't have anything open. I smell that Canada wildfire smoke. Stupid Canada. But Dameon Pierce, he has just like a bad offensive line. He still is able to work through it, and he gets in the end zone a lot, and he makes big plays. He makes plays when he has to in the open field. He does what he has to do, and he's pretty good. 16 is Kenneth Walker, another guy who I think is a little bit high, but I'm not going to put him anywhere lower than this. He had a great rookie year, and he's kind of great at everything. He's kind of the same as Dameon Pierce, except I think that he did it a little bit more escalatedly, maybe without the sort of power that Dameon Pierce has. Number 15, Bijan Robinson, without a doubt the highest that I'm going to put a rookie on any list anywhere, because with running back, there's not really has he proven himself yet? It's you come in, you have 3 or 4 years to make an everlasting impact, because after that, if you're a lead back, you're going to fall off. You're going to get injured and you're going to fall off in your career. So Bijan Robinson, I think that he's going to come in. I think that he's going to dominate. I don't know why the Falcons took him. I just wanted the Eagles to have him, man. I'm so sad. Freaking Jalen Carter. I don't like Jalen Carter. Oh. And I lost my list. Alright. You got it back. Bijan Robinson, though, he's just kind of great at everything. Nice power. Nice elusiveness. Not particularly game-breaking speed, but he's still able to get it done. He's sort of unproven, but he's able to, he's going to work, and he's going to get better, obviously. And he's going to probably fit and do well. 14 is Miles Sanders. I'm kind of sad that he left. I know that I talk so much crap about him and how Gainwell's better than him. But still, I like Miles Sanders. He made the Pro Bowl last year, which a lot of people don't realize. And he was pretty good last year. He stayed healthy, I think, the whole year, and it worked. He's fast. He's fast. He's fast. A lot of people don't talk about Miles Sanders' speed the way that they get out the way that they talk about even Raheem Mostert or a guy like Saquon Barkley or Jonathan Taylor but he's fast. Number 13 is Aaron Jones. I really just didn't find a place to put Aaron Jones higher. He's a great running back. He's the only good piece in that Green Bay offense left. Besides A.J. Dillon, his counterpart, who is probably the best RB2 in the league. But it's so... It's going to work. It's going to work. They're probably going to run a very run-heavy scheme. What the heck? Alright. Last time, Jesus, Aaron Jones was 13. Number 12, get out my way, you stupid piece of hair. Number 12 is Najee Harris. Najee Harris, he had an amazing rookie year. Don't know about his second year. It was maybe a little bit of a sophomore slump. It wasn't crazy bad. I think that they're still going to rely on him more in this offense than Kenny Pickett throwing the ball. But he's gonna get a lot of carries and he's gonna work. And he's going to be good. He's a power guy, not particularly the best speed, but power guy. And he surprisingly is all right out the backfield. Number 11 is Alvin Kamara. I know that there's a lot of suspectation around Alvin Kamara, and is he going to get suspended? I'm guessing not, by the way that it hasn't happened yet. But Alvin Kamara, he's a great running back when he's on the field. He's kind of been on a slow decline from maybe the 4 or 5 that I would have put him 2 or 3 years ago. And he's not been healthy a lot, but when he is on the field, he is still good. Maybe not great, but good. Number 10 is Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard had a really nice year last year for the Dallas Cowboys. He could break off long runs. He's fast. He's kind of the opposite of what Ezekiel Elliott was late in his career in Dallas, where he was just kind of a power guy that would get you 3 or 4 yards. Tony Pollard, he has great speed. He's able to move around. I hate talking so much good with the freaking Dallas Cowboys, but I gotta admit, he's a great player. Number 9, another player with some hot waters, might have shot a kid. Actually, they figured out that it wasn't him that shot a kid, but it still came from his house, because apparently they were playing Nerf guns. But I'm not going to get into that. Joe Mixon, he's a great running back when he's on the field. He kind of has a complimentary in Samaje Perine, and he's kind of been on a little bit of... Did my phone move? He's kind of been on a little bit of a decline, but he still is very good. Number 8, a guy that seems like he's not going to be with this team for too much longer, but I did write this list 2 weeks ago. Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is amazing at quite a lot. There's not really a specific part about his game. I guess his elusiveness is very good, but he just puts it all together and it works. Number 7's Austin Ekeler. All around just scores a ton of touchdowns, gets you a bunch of fantasy points. But when you look at him as an actual running back, you look at maybe some of his efficiency numbers and just sometimes watching him on the field, he's not as good as some fantasy people and some people that just watch highlights that might put him at 3 or 4. Still is a very good running back, still is a very good player, just not the player that some people think that he is. But he just gets everything done. He's a nice receiver, nice speed, okay, power. Number 6 is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor had such a good season in 2021 and such a injury-prone, not that good season in 2022. He was hurt, obviously. But when you look at 2021, he was the best player. He was the best running back in the league, maybe the best player in the league. Again, Derrick Henry was hurt that year, and he probably would have been better than Jonathan Taylor if he stayed healthy. But he was still very... he was the best running back in football. And then everybody took him at the first pick in the fantasy draft, and he sucked. Number 5 is Josh Jacobs. Yes, he led the league in rushing. Yes, he did all these great things. Why do I have him at number 5? It's because I have 4 guys ahead of him that have really done it almost more consistently. I feel like when you look at Josh Jacobs, he had one good year last year, and the rest of his years were kind of mid. Kind of these 900 to 1,000-yard seasons where I would put him at maybe 14, 15, 16. But he just really showed up this year. Made some great plays for a Raiders offense that really wasn't that bad. It was their defense that sucked. But just a pretty good all-around year from... he led the league in rushing. A very good all-around running year for him. Guy who has just kind of it all. Can receive, can run fast, elusive, evades tackles, does good stuff in the open field, and can run you over if he needs to. Number 4 is Saquon Barkley. Again, he might seem like a guy who, he only has 1 year. He doesn't only have 1 year. He had one great year. He had some injury-plagued seasons, and it looked like it didn't mess with him one bit. He looked just like old Saquon Barkley, and that was amazing. I'm sorry, the stupid thing. But he was great. He was just great. He kind of did everything. He kind of carried that Giants offense to the playoffs. Number 3 is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, just a great all-around back. He was apparently going to go to the Eagles. Thank God that he didn't. He's a power freak. He will run you over. He's also surprisingly fast. Like, if you look at him, he just has a big build, so it doesn't really look like he's moving that fast, but he's moving like a tank. He's moving like a guard pulling through, but like a fast guard. He's just a tank. He's a literal tank. He's insane. Number 3, well-deserved. Number 2 is Christian McCaffrey. CMC, he's kind of the opposite of Derrick Henry. He does everything that Derrick Henry doesn't. Besides the speed part, like I said with Derrick Henry, he's really good in the open field, really evasive, can juke you out, and very good in the receiving game. Once he came to that Niners offense was pretty much unstoppable. I know that it was the defense that did a lot for that team, but they did win 11 straight games, and part of it was their offense. Number 1, a lot of people always have this guy at like 2 or 3, but he's number 1. There's nobody more consistent than him, and that is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, he just does it all the time. He's extremely efficient. That's one thing with him that you see is like, he didn't even get that many carries because of Kareem Hunt, and now Kareem Hunt's gone, but he would get 5.5 yards a carry. That's insane, and I know that I just said that he didn't get a lot of carries, but when you still have a good amount of workload like Nick Chubb, he didn't just get like 10 carries, but 5.5 yards a carry is amazing. He can run you over. He's fast. Sometimes he doesn't wear gloves, and that looks sick and weird and cool. So, yeah, that's why I have him at number 1. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.